Cleveland Browns.
So for the Browns, you look at quarterback or at coach, much like Ron Rivera in DC, Stefanski brought some much needed stability to that team. Freddie Kitchens 2 years ago was just clearly way in over his head as head coach. Stefanski did a great job. He had some egos to rein in. He had a young quarterback he had to develop and was able to put it together, have them winning. Now it's time to see if he can repeat and build on that success. Is he going to be like a Frank Reich who has built on that success and established himself as a really good coach? Or is he going to end up more like Matt Nagy that kind of looks like a one-year wonder?
Yeah.
I think it should be the former. I think they should be able to build on that. But you look at the offense, the unit, they are loaded. They have a really good offensive line, one of the best in the NFL. They've probably got the best 1-2 punch at running backs in the NFL with Chubb and Hunt. The receiving core was pretty good last year. Now you're getting OBJ back and David Njoku. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones will improve and look better in his second year. So the weapons are there offensively. The protection's there. The success of this offense is going to hinge squarely on the shoulders of Baker Mayfield. He's going into year 4. This is his second year in the system, so he has some consistency in back-to-back seasons. He's got to take that next step and solidify his spot as the long-term answer for the position. The team has Super Bowl aspirations, so Baker's got to prove that he really is that guy. He did improve last year, and I think he will, but it's the best of this season is all on him because you look at the defense, they're pretty loaded too. Secondary was already pretty good last year, and then they added both Hill and Johnson from the Rams. Myles Garrett is arguably the second best defensive player in all of football behind Aaron Donald. We'll see if releasing Sheldon Richardson to sign Jadeveon Clowney ends up a good move or not. But if Clowney could be healthy for the home stretch of the season, and you have Clowney on one side and Garrett on the other, you're not running on Cleveland at all against that. And, that defense could end up elite, just as good as Baltimore's. So overall, the Browns arguably have one of the best rosters in football. But, NFL history has also shown that having the best roster doesn't equate to a Super Bowl. Both Stefanski and Mayfield have to prove that they can be consistent, that they are the answer. And frankly, they're still the Browns. Since coming back into the NFL in '99, they have not managed to have consecutive seasons with a winning record. And beyond that, the franchise hasn't done it since the 1988 and 1989 seasons.
Yep.
So while Cleveland has a lot to be excited about, a lot of promise, there's still a lot for the franchise to prove, whether that's fair or not. The Browns have to prove that they're not the same typical Browns. Record-wise, I have 11-6 for them as well.
All right, cool. I definitely agree with a lot what you said, Corey. We're going to start with the coach, Kevin Stefanski. He won Coach of the Year. Once again, though, he was an experienced offensive coordinator that called plays. And they actually led the Browns to a playoff win in Pittsburgh. Yes, in Pittsburgh, guys. So his job is to keep the team humble so they can repeat their success, right? Because it's easy for them to get, big-headed and say, we got this. But, I think that's his job. And the way that he's talking in training camp right now, That's the case. He's saying that I got my coach of the year is in my daughter's room, the trophy. And he was like, we finished third in division. That's not really good. And that's what I like hearing from the head coach because it's going to resonate with the players. Like, yeah, we beat Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh, but we were third in the division, right? So I like that. Offense, Baker Mayfield was consistent last year, and I think he needs to build on that. Um, if he keeps his mistakes low, not turning the ball over, I think he'll be once again good in this offense. Um, the running backs, best tandem in the NFL. I call them Thunder and Lightning. When Chubb's thunder and Kareem Hunt is lightning. Um, Offensive line is back. J.C. Trotter, Jack Conklin, Joe Bittner. I mean, this team is stacked. They're gonna protect Mayfield and keep running, making running lanes for Chubb and Hunt. The tight end, Austin Hooper, once again, another good piece. And then deep, David Njoku still on the bench. He's another good, tight end if he can put it together. Receiving core, Odell Beckham, his junior's back. He didn't open training camp PUP. He's went participating, which is always good. Mr. Consistent, Jarvis Landry, and then you have Rashard Higgins, who Baker Mayfield has a good rapport with, and watch out for Donovan People-Jones. He's turning heads at camp. They said he's making some phenomenal catches. Defense line was already stacked. Then they added to Jadeveon Clowney, right? So Myles Garrett is in the conversation in Defensive Player of the Year, one of the best defensive ends. Then Jadeveon Clowney, who's healthy and is having a good camp so far. That defense line is going to be phenomenal, man. The linebacker core, Joke, Jeremiah. He's going to be a rangy linebacker. He's going to play side to side. I know people were concerned about his weight, but I think Cleveland, they have him right now on the depth chart is the will linebackers who's playing outside, which I think he fits. Defensive back, they're loaded at every level, right? Greedy Williams, Denzel Ward, they got Greg Newsome, then they got Josh Johnson on, who solidifies the back end of the defense. They're deep, man. The Browns are loaded on offense and defense. Overall prediction, I think this might be one of the best rosters Browns might ever have in history, maybe. But last year the expectations were high, and then right. So, and then last year they was like, oh, it's Cleveland, and they exceeded expectations. Right, they almost beat the Chiefs, and they played good. They played good at Kansas City. So I think the expectation for this Browns team has risen. The expectation for this Brown team has risen, and I think they're going to rise to it. I think they're going to step up and be consistent and make the playoff back to back. I have them going 11-6. Craig.
All right. Kevin Stefanski. I think he's for the Browns. I think he's a solid head coach. Obviously, want to see him do it more in back-to-back seasons, or at least going forward. Have to see if he can get the job done again, because Cleveland just hasn't been a consistent franchise, and forever seems like. So I want to know if he can actually go out there and make it happen. He has the talent around him to actually do that this coming season. I don't think last year was a fluke though, so I'm high on the Browns this year, and I know the fan base is looking forward to another playoff run, and I definitely think they can make it happen. Obviously, the team is only going to go as far as Baker Mayfield goes. He had his best season last year. He didn't turn the ball over. It seemed like he got better. I know people are saying he's better with Odell, and it seemed like he did get better with Odell out of the lineup, but I'm not going to buy that the team is better without him in the lineup than when he is. So Baker's just going to have to find a way not to force the ball to Odell, not to make bad plays, bad reads, and turn the ball over. If he can do that, I definitely think this team is poised to make a deep run to the possibly to the AFC Championship game. Looking at last year, they were right into that game when they played. They won their first playoff game. They destroyed the Steelers, a division rival, and then second game they played the Chiefs, and they were right in that game. I know the Chiefs lost Mahomes, but they still had a chance to win. I'm not sure who the guy was who fumbled the ball going to the end zone. But that was I don't know
Was it
if it was Higgins. I think that's what I was about to say. I think it was Higgins.
Yeah.
So he fumbled the ball, and then that turned the tie, and then Chad Henne made a nice play, running the ball, and they got the first down. So they were right in that game. If they can build on that success that they had last year, I think it was definitely a successful season for them, given what they've had in the past. This team can be right back in there again. Just Baker just hasn't. He has to just not turn the ball over. They have arguably one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in football. I just don't think you're going to be able to even get through this line. They're great at run blocking. They're great at pass blocking. Like Willis and Conklin, they're beasts. I mean, Joel. Oh gosh, I'm just calling him Joel. Joel is really good, man. Like J.C. Treader is one of the best centers in the league. So like they just have a stacked line. The running backs obviously are to me they're the best 1-2 punch in the league. It's not too many that you can say that about. But this I mean Chubb and Hunt, like you could just, if Chubb gets hurt, Hunt's right there. Hunt that they can go either way. And they're both fast. They're both they're both elusive. Like these guys can both get 1,000 yards this year. So and this team is a running team first, so I can definitely see that. The wide receivers, like I said, Odell is the name people gravitate towards, but he obviously he wasn't there last year, so I'm gonna see what happens with him coming back from injury. If he can, I guess, get back into the groove, get back into the swing of things. And Baker doesn't force him the ball. I think that the offense can be a really good offense. Jarvis Landry's there as well. He's a solid wide receiver. Austin Hooper's there. Rashard Higgins. Like they have names and they have pieces there. It's just going to be all up to Baker Mayfield this coming season. The defense, I think the defensive line is one of the anchors of this defense. Obviously, you guys mentioned Clowney and Myles Garrett. These two are two of the best linemen in the league, especially Garrett. Like if Clowney can stay healthy, I definitely think this defensive line could be a top 10 defensive line. But these two are going to have to be the anchors of that defense. The linebackers, like there's really no big names on that linebacker core. The rookie Jeremiah, him, like he's gonna come in. Yeah, he's gonna have to be that difference maker for this defense. Because they really don't have, or for that linebacker core, because they really don't have any difference makers there. If I were to pick a weak spot, obviously the linebacker unit would be that weak spot. But hopefully he steps up as a rookie second round draft pick and can come in and be that go-to guy on defense for that linebacker unit. And obviously the secondary, they drafted Greg Newsome, which I thought was a great pick for them. They brought in Hill and Johnson from the Rams, so they have that experience. And Ward is going to be there as well. So I think this team, man, the sky's the limit. I think again, like they're going to have another solid season, in my opinion. I definitely think that with Pittsburgh taking a step back, Cincinnati's not even in the picture, and it's pretty much up to them in Baltimore. And I actually have Cleveland winning the division this year. I just picked Baltimore 11-6. I'm going Cleveland 12-5.
Okay.
I can see him going 11-6 as well, but I'm picking them 12-5. I just think that this team is just poised to make a run and win the division. So it's all up to Baker Mayfield at this point. Ball's pretty much in his court, and he just has to step up and just have the same type of season he had last year and just build off of that.